The combination of myself and Brian's production experience was the core of getting so much music done in the last 18 months, and having these 2 CDs now of music is
it's a testament to sort of the work that we put in the studio over the past couple of years, and the ideas that we have, and we don't really limit ourselves on what we can do. It's all about just making music that we want to make. We're not being told what to do by a label. There's nobody like setting out strict guidelines about what we have to do, and we're sort of just making it up as we go along, really. Like we don't really have anyone to guide us on this path. We're sort of just using our experiences from what we've done before, and we're continuing on. So. So we're here at the Tree Arena outside the used to be called the Point Depot. This is where myself and John have been to many nights like Gatecrasher, God's Kitchen, Cream, Judgment Sunday. I remember one of the first gigs I was ever at here. It was on my 18th birthday, February 2001, for a Gatecrasher event. Tiesto, Scott Bond and a few others. Amazing. So
I always remember walking in to the Point, as it was called at the time, and the kind of the section at the start where they were selling the t-shirts and the beer, and then you would walk in and see the stage and all the people. And for us, even being part of it then, I wasn't DJing then, I don't think, but all these experiences we were having was creating curiosity in my mind about how can I possibly do this. Those early days here were very exciting, and great memories, and exploring dance music and clubbing culture in general. I remember the time we came to see Paul van Dyk, and he didn't make it because
I think it was Marrow didn't show up, wasn't it? Was it Marrow's his mother or his father died, or his granddad died?
I remember one time we were all queuing outside, and there was
the sign on the front,
a road sign saying that they weren't arriving, and how disappointed everybody was, but we all went in anyway.
I think Ricky F took his place.
Yeah. For me as well, I think musically it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly who I seen and who I didn't see. Like, there was that many times that we were here. Yeah. But one thing that always sticks in my head was the time Ferry Corsten played back to back with Armin.
That was St. Patrick's Day 2003, God's Kitchen.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And I think Scott Project as well, playing
Overdrive. Yeah.
Those kind of tunes. And seeing all those guys up there at the time, it never ever occurred to me, even for 1 second, that possibly we could be doing that. And I always thought, how many years would it take, and how many tracks do you have to make to possibly get into that scene? Or
one of my favourite tracks of all time was 4 Strings Daytime, but it didn't have a name. It just had a name as a Joy remix that was online. Yeah. And Bocotto played it that night in here in the Point. That's probably one of my favourite memories from here. He played like Strange World, he played Simon Foy, Inside Out, and then he'd go back into this crazy, unrelenting techno that just came out of nowhere that you'd no idea what it was. It was just so many amazing memories from this venue. It could have been maybe a Gatecrasher or God's Kitchen or something, but I remember that there was really diverse lineups, like the Winter Party, like Cream. I think like Lush had an involvement in picking the lineup, so it wasn't always just trance gigs. I think it was like quite diverse, the shows that would be going here. I think it's definitely had an influence on both of us, and with regards to Key4050, it's had a monumental influence on the two of us.
What about the time we were chased down Sheriff?
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I don't think Rob even realised that happened, but that 100% happened. It wasn't one of our smartest moments. Instead of taking the safe option, walking up the quays, we decided to take the scenic route up through Sheriff Street. And I remember getting chased out there. There's a few of us that got chased out there, but
our young lads now were about 10 or 12 throwing sticks at us.
I just remember, they were rallying a car, they were burning out a car, and there's about 30 of them there, and they sort of saw that we shouldn't have been there and just ran. I don't think I've ever...
situations where you're running but you don't know why. Well, he's running, so
I don't think I've ever ran that fast in my whole life, but I was quickly forgotten about once you got into the temple for the after party, and everything was all good afterwards. So here we are inside the Temple Theatre, probably the most influential building in my life. Don't know, probably the same for yourself, is it?
Yeah, it was definitely, I suppose it literally was life-changing to come here for me. Once again, I started off coming here on a bus from Navan with Rob. We would buy our tickets in Discland in Navan. Paper tickets that were at the time around 30 to 35 pounds.
Wasn't cheap.
Irish pounds, and then we would arrange a minibus to come up here with a bunch of us, or else we would just take bus air and a normal bus, and we'd sleep on the couch in Rob's brother's house.
So I remember the first time I came here was to see Ben Gold's dad, Graham Gold. I remember I had to get a lend of a driving licence off a lad I was working with, and I stuck my photo over to make myself look 18 because I was only 17 at the time.
Yeah.
But that would have been, over 18 years ago now since I came here the first time, and I always remember standing up on the balcony to get my jacket to go home and hearing Schiller, Das Glockenspiel, the Hugh Mate remix. So that's probably my first ever memory from this place. I think the nights we all remember before would be for all the BXR nights, like Mario Bocotto, Mario Pugh, Ricky Leroy, Joy Conti, Bismarck.
Yeah, the massive nights for me here were always Mario Bocotto. That was like God.
They're the nights that like people ask you what they were like, you can't really explain. You had to be there to sort of.
Definitely the best clubbing experiences of my life by far.
It was just this energy and this atmosphere in the room that was
like, it was like a football match, you know. People with their tops off. You weren't thinking about what was happening around you. It was just like
completely present, but what was happening.
For us, it was definitely the start of a 18-year journey towards this Key4050 album, and the number one influence is absolutely Mario Bocotto and his associated artists, BXR, the label.
It's just those Bocotto nights, all the BXR nights, and just the characters that you used to see here. And
I remember the distraught feeling when we thought that Bocotto wasn't actually going to make it because of the snow.
Yeah.
It was like genuine
heartbreak.
Worry and heartbreak.
Yeah. But moving on from that, we were sort of regular here for what, 2-3 years?
Yeah, I mean, like from Bocotto we then kind of delved into all the other artists he's associated with, and we're going to see people like Bismarck, Joy Conti, Mario Pugh for years. Influence on Key4050, obviously Bocotto and BXR, but this building itself. The nightclub, the way it was ran, was upstairs, was space.
Downstairs, the crypt.
Was the crypt, which was a much harder sound.
Anyone that has been to the temple knows what the temple is. It's in a way, it's unfortunate that there's not many videos or sort of video footage of what actually went on here, but in a way it's probably better because it's...
I'll never forget it.
I'll never forget it, no. Yeah, the album, it's called Tales from the Temple. This is where it all really came from. CD1 is Space, which was upstairs. CD2 was the crypt, and it's downstairs, and so many memories.
It's unfortunate it'll probably never be a nightclub again, but we're thankful for the experience.
Yeah, we're grateful for what we had. So here we are, walking down Thomas Street, John. I'm sure this brings back plenty of memories here, living around here, what, 15, 16 years ago?
Yeah, I think I lived here for maybe 2 years while I was in college, and during that time going to the Temple Theatre and other Dublin club nights regularly, and walked home many's a night on my own, drunk out of my mind, back to the apartment on Meath Street.
That was the time around the time we got to know each other, and we were decided to start making music in this area, and this was sort of where it all began. I used to get the bus in and then meet you in the apartment, and we'd sort of see what would happen. It's a bit similar to now, whereas like there were no rules, there were no set out plans or anything. We sort of just went in and sort of see what happened, you know. Yeah. This apartment has probably had, along with the Temple Theatre, the biggest influence on Key4050, because this is where it all began. The production, the making tracks together, all that sort of stuff. So people are always asking us exactly why or where the name Key4050 comes from, and you're about to find out. As I said, this is probably the first time I've been here in 15 years. There's the keypad there. Want to try it? No longer. They changed the code, so that's where it all comes from. This is where John used to live, an apartment upstairs. This is where we made our first ever track. So a lot of history, a lot of memories here.
A lot of good times,
yeah.
And crazy stuff.
A lot of brain cells damaged in that apartment up there, but
a lot of music listened to, and
a lot of crack had, a lot of fun had, a lot of good memories.
A lot of Pro Evolution poker played as well.
Good times, good times.
Here we have one of the best fish and chips in Dublin. Temple Bar now. This is probably moving on a little bit forward from the Temple days, isn't it? It's more towards the techno sort of gigs you would have gone to. And the Temple Bar, it's called the Button Factory now, but it was called the Temple Bar Music Centre then. I remember the gigs, like that Chris Liebman gig was around the time of his Evolution album. We were all in there. It's all about opening your mind and developing new techniques for. You bring a lot of those kind of sounds into trance too, and that's why over the years I've had a joint operations centre and you have Carney and stuff, because it's two very different things that appeal to me. One is melody and the other is percussion.
Well, I think, as you said, like we both have our two sort of more tech-based aliases, but I think it's important to have that sort of diverse sort of sound where you're expanding your musical creative process, and especially with Key4050, it's a nice balance between the euphoric stuff and then the more heads down, relentless banging sort of stuff. So it's all about complementing the two. And
loads of people were asking us, when are you making your next collab, when is the next exactly, and we were always very hesitant to do that because exactly turned out to be an anthem,
an iconic anthem, isn't it? Yeah,
so we didn't want to risk
ruining its legacy,
being able to live up to that expectation. So with Key4050, it was a much more freedom project because you're not making one single for release. We decided to make 20 to 40 tracks, using the experiences we've had over the years in production and in
different styles, different sounds, different genres. No limitations on what we can do.
The combination of myself and Brian's production experience was the core of getting so much music made done in the last 18 months, and having these 2 CDs now of music is
it's a testament to sort of the work that we've put in the studio over the past couple of years, and the ideas that we have, and we don't really limit ourselves on what we can do. It's all about just making music that we want to make. We're not being told what to do by a label. There's nobody setting out strict guidelines about what we have to do, and we're sort of just making it up as we go along, really. We don't really have anyone to guide us on this path. We're just using our experiences from what we've done before, and we're continuing on. So
it's liberating to do that without an album head or a label or somebody pressurizing you to make a track for radio, or you need this vocal because it has to sell X amount of stuff. We're not looking to sell any kind of amount of anything. We're just enjoying
the creative process and seeing where it can go, because there's no limitations to what we can do. There's no limitations to what anyone can do, especially with this project and how much it's achieved so far. And I think we're nearing up to nearly 50 tracks that we've made already, which is insane, So
we're always keeping tracks as well for the live sets, which is a big part of the Key4050 experience. We have Ricardo de Souza from Australia, the best visuals guy in the world, and he travels around with us, and what we're trying to create is more than just a DJ set. It's 100% original music.
Right, we better let people know about some of the track names and some of the tracks on the album, because some of them have some interesting names and some interesting stories behind them, so I think we should let people in on it.
Yeah.
A few of the secrets. I think the first track on the album is Hinklebot. What's your memories of that track?
Well, that was actually the first track that we produced as Key4050.
It was in the old Music for a studio in Temple Bar, and I remember we set up a makeshift studio, and we sort of sat down, and then the bleep that sort of people know Dinklebot for, that was the first thing that sort of happened. It was just a couple of little percussion hits with a bit of a bit crusher on the top, and then I came in the next time and you were after turning it into this thing I'd never heard before in my whole life.
I think both of us had recently just done a couple of gigs in Argentina, so we knew that from playing there what the crowd reactions would be, and we were heavily influenced by those gigs, and we said, well, let's just make a track that has big builds.
And on to the next one, Otterfly. I think we both have been heavily influenced by this man and the group that he was formerly in and that era of trance. And I think
the best trance producer in the world.
Yeah, of course. If you don't know by now, we're obviously talking about Giuseppe Ottaviani and his New Energy days. So that's where the otter and fly, it's like a mixture of Ottaviani and butterfly basically together.
The next one we'll talk about is a track called Birch, named after a comic genius that we've all been friends with for a long time. A real name, Nicholas Jackman. If you want to YouTube him, look up Nicholas Jackman poetry.
Do you remember the story? He was on the front page of the Star newspaper. He was after chasing some lad out of his work in a pair of briefs or boxers or something.
Yeah.
It was front page news. I always remember that one. And the track itself, it's I think that was another one that you put the beats to a melody that I'd come up with this sort of old school, almost like a Zombie Nation sort of 8s melody sort of.
It was kind of a Bismarck.
Yeah, the bass line is like a Bismarcky, Ricky Leroy sort of influence, yeah. Right, the next track, this is a favourite track title on the whole album. You're going to have to explain this one because you were witness to this one. This one was called Dicky Tummy. Can you tell us about this one, please, John?
Over the years, we've made plenty of friends in Manchester. Guys from Good Grief and PFA. We've been friends with them for a long time.
James Rigby,
Gareth Emery, all these lads all have a very distinct
dialect,
Manchester accent. Craig Connolly came over to visit us for a music first meeting, and we were in my house and we decided to get an Indian takeaway, and it was only about 8 o'clock at night and we were having this Indian takeaway, and it was really nice. We all ate it and having a couple of beers, and then it came to about 9:15 when Craig announced, I think we're going to have to go to bed. I've got a dicky tummy.
Dicky tummy.
So the final track on the album is this is a track we played for the first time in San Francisco. It was the final track of the set, and as I said, it's the final track of the album. And we had a track that we made for Bangkok called Settler. So it was like a mid-set interval melodic track with no beats. It's just basically music. So we wanted to make a follow-up to that. So the first one was called Settler, and we wanted to follow up that track, so we called it Alka. So it's almost like an Alka Settler. So the final track on the album, just a really nice piece of melodic music. It was a perfect way to end that San Francisco set, because I don't know about you, I thought musically that was probably my favourite show to do, one of them anyway. I think it's the perfect track to finish off our first album anyway.
So hopefully you enjoy the album. It's 2 CDs of original music produced by myself and Brian, and thank you to everybody who came to the shows and supported us, and you can go and check out the track now anywhere that has it: Spotify, iTunes, Beatport, and you can order the CD online.
And we're going to be continuing to perform all over the world at various festivals and shows, so keep an eye on both myself, John's social media for further information. We're always making new tracks. There's always new Key4050 projects on the go, so this is only the beginning, so hopefully you shall enjoy the album. As John said, thank you for the support and see you this year.